the only way I can really let you know who I am is by giving you some information as to how and why I decided that I would be in front of you today. And that's years and years of volunteering and participating in my county and local government. It isn't something that you would know about if you're not an active person, involved, civic-minded, running around to all the meetings, wanting to know what's going on. Then even my background is not going to be impressive. But in 1993, I was asked to participate in an independent party, and I had no idea about political anything. I had no idea about our country. I didn't even know that what I was supposed to have, let alone what was taken from me. And in 93, a radio station came on, and the guest host started showing the Constitution. They wanted to know where it was going and why it was being taken and who all the players are in taking our government away from us, of the people, by the people, for the people. So to me, I had no idea what I was getting into. Probably would have ran as far as I could the other way if I had. But God had an idea that I needed to wake up and be an adult. I had to learn what responsibility really meant and what it meant to be a true Christian at heart, not lip service to the catchy phrases. So when I talk to you today, I'm talking to you about why we need to become the Founding Fathers' role models for society that no longer understands what a role model is, let alone a decent one for posterity or for anything else. I want to become what they are, and for the first time in my life, after you all have realized how far we've been taken away from our heritage, our traditions, our backgrounds, our solid formation of freedom. When you realize this, you realize what you have to become. You have to become the Founding Fathers all over again. And not with their ideology as much as it is with their tenaciousness, their fortitude, their guts, their sacrifice. You have to be willing to go every single inch you can take for other people, not necessarily for yourself. That is another reason that we are fighting so hard today, is because we've grown apathetic and indifferent to the plight that this country's in. It's somebody else's job. I voted. It's somebody else to do this, to do that. I'm a researcher for the last 18 years. I have sacrificed many thousands of hours researching all issues, not just a single issue. I first got involved in knowing something majorly was wrong was when they were forcing the Goals 2000. I had no idea what that was. I just knew that the school systems were messing up an awful lot of future citizens. They weren't teaching. Why would you have Hooked on Phonics? Why would you have Math Genius? Why would you have all these outside programs coming in to take up the slack for what a government agency, state government agency, and federal government agencies are supposed to be the experts at? In 1920, I read a book, not in 1920, but it was written in 1920, called The Social Engineering and Experimentation of Public Schools. You have so many factors that have come against you without you even knowing. By the time I was born, most of my freedoms had already been robbed, replaced, and restructured, and hidden. They're hidden in what you should do as an authoritarian country. We had wars that we went to and lost all of our idealistic young men who really knew why they were there. Even though we didn't know they were being expended for other purposes, they were being eliminated, you could say, so that not to be a potential threat for what wanted to take this country away from its free-based society. There are so many factors. People talk about, oh, don't you talk to me about conspiracy, and you're a wacko, and you're an extremist, and you're way out there on the limb. Conspiracies merely means that somebody's gotten together without you knowing, privately, to orchestrate a plan to divert your financial system, your governmental system, your every life. They've gotten together to change that course, to deny possibilities, to alter future. And these groups are agendized. They have become your biggest weapon and your biggest destroyers, yet you remain totally unable to identify them. We as common citizens are in survival mode. This country has become so oppressive without recognition of oppression. We have been dumbed down to the point where we no longer know who our benefactors should be, and we are dependent upon those that really do not have our best interest at heart. We are totally snowed as to what a government is. We have developed from a free-based society and owners of the world in 1900 to enslaved third world similar countries. We are the pie, the ultimate dessert for all the planning that has gone on for the last 200 to 300 years to cut us up and divide us and to take what they need and what they want from us. And this is what's been the fate of every country ever created. It has been done in from the inside out. It has to be done in from the inside to open all avenues from the outside to take us. My research has led me to understand my Constitution, my Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights. These are just buzzwords or great sounding words or words you can throw out when you get asked a question you're really not sure of. You'll say, "Oh, I know my rights. I want my rights. I demand my rights." But today's society, the rights are to watch TV and sports, the rights to vote, sports mentality, my team versus your team, regardless of what my team member has done or will do. My rights are to drink whenever I want, sex whenever I want. My rights are all the carnal natures, the carnal sins, all the weak natures of man to be explored and exploited. But if you really talk to a real American, the first right they have is to be an individual. And that is crucial. Because in individuality, you have a responsibility and accountability. You can be relied upon. You can actually grow into adulthood with maturity and dignity. A real American must know what they're supposed to be so they can see how they're being destroyed. A real American must be willing to sacrifice all for the sake of others and their families and their loved ones. So these are so rare. These commodities that we have are just so rare. And when I talk to you again, I will give a little bit clearer understanding of why I am what I am and what I know. And I want to thank you for taking the time to go through my first edition to you. Thank you.